Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico. Welcome to another edition of Friday Quickie Techniques and Tips. I'm super excited to be with you today. And I have to tell you, I know that it is Saturday and not Friday, but I have a pretty good excuse because, well, first of all, backstory. Um, A, I have been having like the worst Stamper's Block ever. Two, my husband and son are at Boy Scout camp this weekend, so we were going to have like an all girls weekend. And then three, my daughter got called to start detasseling today. So we had to change our plans. And so we did our Saturday activities yesterday. And long story short, we had a great day together. We had a lot of fun. I'll post a picture of us. We went shopping, of course, because what else do girls do on a girls' weekend? Well, I know there's lots of things, but that was for sure one of them. And we have plans, if she's not exhausted today, to do some nice little crafting things in my office this afternoon. So I'm excited. But I have to tell you, so I mentioned that I've been having the Stamper's Block. So this happens every year. I think it's like part of having a new catalog, and there's all these wonderful things to choose from. And so how do you decide what to use? And so it's really challenging, especially because, you only have a certain amount of set time to work. So let me show you how I got through this Stamper's Block, because it sucks. It does. I'm sorry. There's no nicer way to put it. So I started a Pinterest board called Stampin' Up! Inspiration. You can see it if you follow me on Pinterest. I have all kinds of pins, and very few of them are actually card samples or stamping things. They're often color combinations or kind of design things or patterns or whatever. See, look, there's my happy face. Um, I love the ideas that I get off of this board. I've actually showed them before, but there's so many fun, cool things on here that I just love. Like, isn't that cool? So I have to show you, this one stuck out at me. So let me brighten that up a little. This is like paint swatches going across here, and I just love the color combination. So when you have Stamper's Block, I think one of the best ways to get through it is to hone in on something that you really want to make or look at or like. Okay. And I realize that's several options, but I'll explain. And then go from there. So, like I mentioned before, I had this problem where I have all these new stamps. There's all this new inspiration. There's all this fabulous new stuff in the catalog. But how do you get through that? So I started with this color combination because, like I said, I really liked it. So I interpreted this to be Pumpkin Pie, Melon Mambo, Night of Navy, Whisper White, Wild Wasabi. No. Wisteria Wonder. I knew it was a W. And then this one is a cross between So Saffron or Gold. Ooh. So let me show you what I came up with. The other thing I decided was I've limited to a stamp or a color combination that I liked, but then I needed to choose a stamp set that I wanted to use. So I have the Banners for You bundle. It's a stamp set and then framelits that cut out all these awesome banners. And I hadn't used that yet, so I thought I'd really ought to get this out and playing with it. And these little flowery images were totally calling my name. And I knew it would be fun, and flowers are one of my favorite things to stamp, so I figured that would be a good way to get out of my funk. And I will show you, I came up, well, actually, I don't want to show you the project because I kind of want to describe to you how it came to be. So first of all, I'm going to start with some white cardstock. Now, one thing I will tell you when working with color is that it isn't always the same, meaning that one value or strength of color is different than another, and one combination of color is different than another. So let me show you how I lined this up. I arranged these colors according to the picture. Okay. And what I found when I was playing with this, and by the way, the first card did not just happen. It took a little bit of practice. But when I laid these colors out is I could see the spectrum of color. It wasn't necessarily the order I would have put it in. And like, I probably would have put this over here on the side. And then, I probably would have switched these around. But when I changed the colors and messed with them, I could definitely see what I liked and what I did not like. So let me show you how I did this. First of all, I'm going to start with this white piece of background, and that was the white, which actually fits right there. Okay, and then I took one of the banners, and I actually went ahead and stamped it. Oh, I have one stamped. I just need to cut it out. I stamped a couple so I could mess with the color combinations. So then I decided I wanted to use congrats to you, because I like that, because it's kind of non-specific. It could be birthday, it could be like a promotion, a baby, a anniversary, a wedding, or whatever. So I noticed that these pieces are curved to fit within the banners. So I figured if I just placed them on top of my stamped image, picked them up with my block, they would be arranged perfectly. So then I thought, okay, next to my navy, I had my wisteria. So let's try that and stamp it down. This is a easy to stamp situation because we've got them lined up perfectly, and then we can just go ahead and stamp it down. Now I'm going to clean that off, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, that's a little bit dull compared to these. So let me try another color in the center. Let's brighten it up with the Melon Mambo. And when I go to stamp this in, you can see it's kind of really pops out at you, which I liked. Okay, so I've got that. Now, the other thing that I did that I think you're going to find interesting, if I can find it, because here we go. Well, oh, I die cut all of the shapes out of vellum, the different banners, and I'm trying to find the one I actually need. Here we go. And the reason I did that in vellum is so that I could see through and figure out where to place things. And of course, I wonder if it's under my thing here. I can't, of course, the one I need is gone. Well, I will show you. I will show you what I did with with one in Whisper White, but the vellum one is helpful because you can see through it. So what I did is, this is just to keep my video going. My gosh. Ugh, I hate when this happens. So first of all, what I want to do is make sure that I have these oriented the same way as what I stamped. That helps. Okay, so there is where my banners go. And then I'm going to start stamping some of these cute little floral images behind. So what I'm going to do is just layer up some of these images. And I'm going to start with some leaves. And actually, of course, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, there's no green in this color combination. What am I going to do? Well, I chose navy and I kind of like the look. It's a little bit different, and so I think it's going to work out just fine. So I'm placing or keeping my pre-cut frame handy so that I can determine exactly where I put the leaves. I'm going to start with 3 because I always like doing things in odd numbers. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I chose to use some different images with a single color. So let me explain what I mean by that. I just need to find my other piece. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate the tulipy looking flower to pumpkin pie. And again, I want to use my pre-cut shape to help me determine exactly where I should be stamping these, so that when I go to put them down, they're not completely covered up by my banner. And then, so I have one up here, I'll have one right there, and then one over here. And what this really helps do is it helps make sure that there's color that sticks out, but then it I know that I'm not covering up everything that I'm stamping so that it'll look kind of goofy when I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing the same thing. This time I'm adding pink flowers, and I'll just fill this in a little bit. And the fun thing I think about this is that every single one of these is going to be a little different. It's not going to come out exactly the same just by virtue of it's pretty hard to line things up. Now see, that one is completely covered. That's why I have this here so that I can see what it is I'm doing and where I'm placing things. Okay, then I'm going to take the little polka dot image and I will place those on here in So Saffron. And I like this because I think it kind of fills things in. It adds a little bit of color, which is always nice. It brings in that extra color that I had in my color scheme that I wasn't totally sure where to put it. And it just sort of pulls together things, I think. And the nice thing too is, you know, I'm kind of wiggling this around. I can reposition things as I wish or add things as I wish. So I'm going to actually add a flower there, and okay, that's much better. It wasn't showing very much. So maybe I'll add one there too. And ooh, that was the stamped off. That was not planned, but I kind of like the look. Okay, so there we have it. And I think this looks pretty good. I'm digging it. Maybe one more over here. And the other thing is you kind of want to balance things out a bit. You don't want the shape to be too square, or you want it to flow nicely. Okay, I kind of like how that looks. Now the other thing I always, of course, have to do is spritz. You know, it's just not a card for me if there's not spritzing. And I'm looking for a background that I can place. Where'd all my background paper go? Oh my goodness. Seriously. I know. Half the time in these videos is me looking for stuff, but that is just how it works. Okay, so I've got my little floral situation. I'm going to move my ink pads because you can actually get ink in ink pads. I mean, spritzing ink in your ink pads. That's not always good. You know, Night of Navy and So Saffron, not such a good combo. Okay, so I'm just going to spritz on there, and wow, that was a lot. One flick is all I needed. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to place this over the top. And I don't like how that looks. I think it's too dull. Plus I didn't actually end up using any of the Wisteria Wonder on here. So I want to do this one, which is brighter. And I think that looks much happier. Now to put the card together, I'm going to add a couple of little elements to kind of bring it all together. First of all, I'm going to take and put some dimensionals on the background here. This will pop up my banner, which I think will look good. And then I also want to put some gold thread, metallic thread. So to do that, I'm going to put some fast fuse down where I know my label or banner will cover it up, and I will use that to adhere my thread. So what I'm going to do is wrap this around all my fingers, my 4 fingers, depending on how big or small your hands are. You may want to do more. You might want to separate your fingers out a little bit and whatnot. And I kind of like to mess with it a little bit when I'm done so that it's not all even. And then I will just place this down. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to stick in one of those 2 strips that I put on there. Okay, then I'll take the backing off of this banner for my dimensionals and place it right over the top. I think it's gonna look pretty awesome. And I really do like how it turned out. There we go. Okay, so isn't that pretty? Now we have to make this into a card, of course. So I have a couple tips on that too. I decide I'll bring in my final card. This is what my original looks like. And of course, do you see this? I'm pointing this out because you guys will appreciate this. I got a little pumpkin ink on here. And so that's actually why I did the spritzing to make it not so noticeable. But I thought, oh, okay, I put the gold thread behind. So then I was trying to figure out how to layer this up into the card. And then I thought, ooh, I could do a gold layer of cardstock. That's great. But I really didn't want to waste the gold. So I took my gold cardstock and I die cut it with a couple of these banners that I can use later on. And I think this is going to be fun to play with these. And if you are one of my VIPs, I will actually show you on our VIP page what I did with this frame, because I made a cute card out of it. But now this is going to be covered up. Now I do have a tip for you on this. When you're cutting this, make sure you're using a new cutting pad on the top. I kind of reserve one for situations like this, and here is why I say that. If you look at this, do you see all these teeny little scratchy lines? Those are from my cutting pad having all kinds of cut lines in it. So let me grab it quick and show you. So this is my cutting pad, and as you can see, it is very well loved. You can hardly see through it. But when I use a brand new cutting pad with just a couple of marks on it, or even none, you can see it's crystal clear. This will prevent you from having all those lines. Now, I don't think it's a huge deal because we're covering most of it up, but if you wanted to use this piece where more of it was showing, then it would be more of a big deal. All right, so to adhere this together, I'm just going to place some fast fuse on here, and then I will layer it up on a beautiful Melon Mambo card for a nice, bright, happy, fun project. Now, I can tell you for sure, I never, ever would have just thrown these colors together without the inspiration of that thing I had on my Pinterest page. And so I think it's really useful to have that information. In addition, I also think that it is really fun to play with this color combination in some other ways. So let me show you one more card. This is a card I did using the same color concept, but remember I had that leftover piece that I didn't like so much, so I wanted to make a card with that. All that I did was use my this punch, and I punched twice in each color. Well, twice, two big ones, two, you get it. And I just put them together. I added some of the new metallic enamel dots on there, or shapes, and then these are just strips of cardstock that I glued together. And this is something I did a long time ago with the stripes, and actually I made another card out of it recently that I liked. But oh, isn't this awesome? And this totally reminds me of like a Kate Spade purse or Kate Spade color combinations. I love Kate Spade, but I can't afford Kate Spade purses, so I make Kate Spade cards. That's just how I roll. Anyway, I hope you love how these worked out. If you would like to see more, please go to my blog. I will have all the colors, the dimensions, and the supplies that I use to make these two cards on there. And if you order through my online store, you of course become a VIP, and my Creativity Cave VIP rewards members will have a fabulous video, or maybe even two, because I don't know if I can fit it all in one. But I have several more projects that I've done with this, and I want to show you some really fun tips with that. So thank you so much for joining me. I love stamping with you every time you are here with me, and thank you so much for the wonderful comments. Please share this on your favorite social media platform, and don't forget, becoming a Creativity Cave VIP is as easy as placing an order through my online store. It helps support these awesome videos, and it really makes my day. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye.